And the only saving grace for Sam, yes, number one, he's 19 years of age, but number two, I think if you have a look at conditions for batting, they weren't fantastic. Is there anything Scott Boland can't do? Lords was a little bit slow, so it was hard for, pace from the bowlers. India would have thought, we got this. They bowled absolutely beautifully. I think the catching has improved out of sight, or fielding in general, but the catching has improved every test match throughout this series. Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond 23 for a little debrief. 2 test matches, West Indies v Australia. Let's start with that one. I feel for the West Indies boys, I got to say. So much talk around the Aussie batters, and I spoke about this before the start of the test match, and I don't think too much has changed around that conversation. The Usman Khawaja conversation, who obviously didn't make as many runs again as he would have liked, and the Sam Konstas conversation, I think is a real one leading into the Ashes. I said I'd talk about Sam Konstas after the test series to see how he went. And the only saving grace for Sam, yes, number one, he's 19 years of age, but number two, I think if you have a look at conditions for batting, they weren't fantastic. The West Indies, wow, I really feel for them. That second innings batting performance was as polite and gentle as I can be. It was nothing short of horrible. Mitchell Starc bowled like a genius. Scott Boland a hat-trick, test hat-trick. Is there anything Scott Boland can't do? But the West Indies batting, it was horrible. Again, so look, not surprised. Aussies win the series, dominate the series. And like I say, I think we confirm the Australian attack is a very good one. I was surprised to see no Nathan Lyon selected, but in saying that, you bring in Scotty Boland and you never miss out. He never disappoints. It's going to be extremely difficult, again, for him to fight his way into that top 3 in regards to Starc, Hazlewood, Cummins, to get in front of one of those for the Ashes. But if the wickets are green and they go 4 quicks, which is very unlikely in Australia, but if they do, what a great problem to have. Scotty Boland can open the bowling, he can bowl whenever you want in any conditions. And if somebody gets injured in a 5 test match series, I think he confirms it's an absolute no-brainer. He jumps back in. The other 3 quicks, the top 3 quicks, are going to have to keep performing well, because if they don't, Scotty's ready to play. So from a bowler's perspective, Australia's pumped and ready for the Ashes. I think they're ready now. And Nathan Lyon missing the last test doesn't mean much to me. Conditions in Australia, generally you play a spinner every day of the week, so I think Lino comes straight back in. So that's the positive from the Aussies. They go into this Ashes series dominating the West Indies, and the bowling attack really standing up. The batting, like I say, that's going to be that's the talk of the town. What do they do now? I said a lot earlier, I feel like we missed a trick in not picking Sam Konstas for Sri Lanka. I feel like we probably, because Australia lost to Sri Lanka their last tour, I think we probably overestimated them. Now, again, not disrespecting the Sri Lankan team, but I think we probably thought, conditions are like playing India in India, where they're not. I think Sam definitely should have played that series. Could have had a Test 100 under his belt. I think he definitely should have played the World Test Championship in England. Gets a look at those conditions as well. Plays against the South African attack. So he gets more Test matches under his belt leading into West Indies. Then he plays in West Indies, and then he gets the chance to play in the Ashes series. But right now, 6 bats. Hasn't been a good start for him in this series against the West Indies. Do they keep the faith and pick him in the first test? Hopefully he goes back and plays some Shield cricket and makes runs. I think that's going to be important. And that's probably in the selectors' favour, that now they have the opportunity for Australian players, if they're not playing in the shorter formats, they can play Shield cricket and have a bit of a bat off. I think we've got to remember, like I say, batting conditions were hard for everyone. No one really dominated the West Indies batting conditions in either team. So I think you definitely cut him some slack there. You cut him some slack that he's 19 years of age, and now you say, rightio, go and make some runs in Shield cricket, and we'll pick you. If you're leading run scorer in Shield cricket, come selection for first test against England, then you stick with him. But there's certainly a lot more pressure on him now in Shield cricket to make runs to get selected. I think Usman the same. Uzi's not playing short form for us. He's been around for a long time. We know what Uzi can do. And I think it's, ideal world, we want him making runs leading into that first test match. But it's not a given now, because he hasn't been making as many runs as he would like. Cameron Green got better at number 3. Not surprised. Again, batting-wise, technically he looks sound. He's got all the shots, very talented. I think it's a matter of time for Cam to make runs. It's just that question mark around, is number 3 the spot for him? Particularly come Ashes time, you'd expect his back bowling as well. So I think that's going to be, the question mark. Do they keep him at number 3? Is it a bit of a plan? Put him at number 3 now, see how he goes. Worst case scenario, who knows? End of the Ashes series, Steve Smith might retire, and then he could go to that number 4, which I probably think, if he's going to bat bowl field, I think that number 4, number 5, number 6, probably going to suit him better. But it was great to see him making runs, and you can feel his confidence is growing as well. So, again, he's got lots of cricket to play leading into the Ashes. So I think overall, I don't believe there'd be too many people surprised around Australia dominating West Indies. I think the chat is really about our, particularly now our top 2, what's going to be our opening combination against England in that first Test match. But overall, all you can do is win. That's the one thing I've got to say about Paddy Cummins and this Australian team. They cop their fair share of stick because we're looking for perfection, or we're looking for areas that are not perfect, because we know England are going to be tough come the Ashes. But all you can do is win. And at the moment, the Aussies are still finding ways to win. So congratulations to the Aussie boys, well done to Paddy Cummins, and to everyone that performed well. To the players that we're talking about, the advantage you got is you got Shield cricket now. Get back, make runs, take wickets, and who knows what the 11 will be for that first Test match against England. But right now, I think the selectors are in a pretty good place. They don't need to make any decisions right now. And they won the series 3-0. Third Test at Lords, what an absolute beauty. Little bit slow at the start of the game, like you expect in some conditions around the world, and I think the wicket at Lords was a little bit slow, so it was hard for, pace from the bowlers. The ball wasn't really kissing off. Batting-wise, it wasn't coming on, so you didn't see, players get their timing straight away or the ball race to the boundary. But I think in all, what a game, what a Test match, and really up until that, that last dismissal, Jadeja was doing everything he could to get India home. But as I look at the scorecard, 387 plays 387 in the first innings, and then England knocked over for 192. I think India would have thought, we got this. They bowled absolutely beautifully. I think the catching has improved out of sight, or fielding in general, but the catching has improved every Test match throughout this series. And I think they would have backed themselves to get themselves home, to be honest. I've got to say, India chasing that total, 192, Ben Stokes, the way he bowled, and Jofra Archer, absolutely brilliant. I think the way Stokes used himself, listening to the commentary on that last day, I was in London. I went to the first day at Lords and I watched the rest of the days on TV. Just listening to the commentary, there was a bit of talk around, is he over bowling himself? And I could understand why. He was bowling beautifully. He had great rhythm. I reckon that's as good or as quick and as consistent as I've seen Stokesy bowl for a long time. So I think he made a lot of the right decisions, captaincy-wise, and even keeping himself on for such a long period of time in a couple of spells particularly, I thought was the right call. The way he utilised Jofra Archer from the other end, absolutely brilliant. He just makes that team a different team. I think if he's fit and healthy, it reminds me of like if we had a Ryan Harris fit when I was playing, or a Mitchell Johnson fit. He's just that. He's that X-factor bowler. He can crank his speed when he needs it. He's got that aggressive approach. He's such an athlete. Like even that caught and bowled, one hand caught and bowled, he just makes a significant difference to this England team. And I think if they got that, if they got him, add Mark Wood to that squad as well that comes to Australia in November, I think we're in for an absolute beauty of an Ashes series. But India can hold their head high, particularly Jadeja. Again, look, I've said openly, I still would like to see Kuldeep Yadav in that 11. And now I don't know how, because Washington Sundar, he bowled beautifully, made handy runs. Jadeja's batting has been phenomenal and has his entire career. He's saved India on a number of occasions. He's won India games on a number of occasions, and 61... I think if he had somebody just hold up the other end and didn't get out, I think he would have got him home. So I really felt for him, and I felt for India as well. Games like that, you'd rather see the team, lose by 100 runs rather than get so close. You're counting every single run down. It was on the edge of your seat cricket, but brilliant test match once again. These two teams are so hardly fought. The competitiveness in the test match was phenomenal. 2-1 England up. Bring on test number 4. Can't wait for it.